Hello and welcome to the 43rd Alpine Junior World Ski Championships, coming to you live from the Porte du Soleil in the Haute-Savoie region of France. We're joining the competition where we've been in 11 events across 5 resorts for the first run of the men's slalom competition. We're in the heart of these World Championships, the winter resort of Morzine, which the snow conditions, well, they're not at their best across most of the Alps, but the local organising committee here have done a spectacular job in presenting a beautiful course, of which there are 60 gates, 58 turns in a huge field for this opening run. 145 racers representing a huge 49 national ski associations. It's another record before the competition has already started here in Morzine. And let's take a look at the starting order. Lenz Heitler will get the action underway for Switzerland. Hallberg. Remember, these are the rising stars of the future. From age 16 to 20 years of age, and so many of the superstars of the FIS, Audi, Alpine Ski Racing World Cup Tour all began right here at the World Junior Ski Championships. We've been racing in Châtel, Léger, Saint-Jean-de-Ulp, Morzine and Avoriaz. Now, there are 4 British racers in the field. Watch out for Freddie Carrick Anderson, one of the twin brothers. Zach, his twin brother, coming away with 2 golds and a silver. For these later numbers in the starting field, top 30 qualification is the name of the game. Like all FIS international ski racing, we will reverse the top 30 after the first run. But because it is a junior championship, all of the racers will be allowed to continue with their second leg after the top 30 shootout for the medals. For the men, this is the penultimate race with a giant slalom live on FIS TV tomorrow to wrap up proceedings in what has been headlined as a really interesting and superbly organised FIS Alpine Junior World Ski Championships. And it's great to see some of the smaller nations, including Kazakhstan, Greece, Brazil, Kyrgyzstan, Serbia, Portugal, Mexico, Lebanon, Hong Kong, all of these small nationalities sending their best to the French Alps to contest these World Junior Ski Championships. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar where the Porte du Soleil is, it's about an hour and 20 from Geneva International Airport, just nipping over the Swiss to French borders. A really easy commute and a ski resort that any serious skier should put on their bucket list. We've seen some brilliant performances in Super G, men and women. Max Peratona taking top position in the Super G earlier this week, and Livio Hiltbrand already starting to establish himself as a major player on the World Cup Tour, winning the men's downhill. But let me run you through some of the names that have won this competition over the years, and perhaps the one that strikes the purest of all chords is Clément Noël. He won the World Junior Slalom Championship in Davos back in 2018. 4 years after, Clément Noël went on to win the Olympic gold in Beijing, the Winter Olympic Games of 2022. So many World Cup stars. Panorama 2022, the World Juniors in Canada, won by Alexander Steen Olsen, won the slalom and the giant slalom gold there, and now he's a major player on the World Cup Tech Tour. I can go on and on. Last time the USA won, Ben Ritchie in Bansko 2021. Alex Finazza, winner in 2019 in Val de Fassa. Now a major star. And of course, one of the biggest headlines of World Junior Ski Racing in the modern era, Marco Odermatt, the current world #1 back in 2018 at the World Juniors in Davos. Marco Odermatt won downhill, Super G, Alpine combined, giant slalom, and played his part to win the team competition to take away 5 gold medals. But it is the men's slalom that we focus on here today in Morzine, in the heart of the Porte du Soleil, and it's Lenz Heitler that gets the action underway. Now, Lenz, right at the top end of the age limit. Remember, 16 to 20 years of age is the World Junior qualification age limit. Let's take a look at the tempo and pace of this pattern of turns. Seb Brenier, French course setter. Drawing bib number 1 is a real advantage. I'm sure many of you have heard the stories that there's been some uncharacteristically mild weather across the Alps, but look how quick the tempo is here. Through the undergate, into the Verticale or Royal Flush. Heikler heads home, sets the early pace at 48.40. I'm sure there was a huge smile on Lenz's face when he drew number 1 out of the team captains meeting yesterday evening. Let's go to Hallberg of Finland. Edward Hallberg. Now, Hallberg, again, a 20-year-old. He's got some good Europa Cup form against his name. And 2 World Cup starts as well, so he's already starting to make his way into the senior ranks. I love the flow and tempo. Nice footwork from the Finnish youngster, and deservedly takes a nice green light at the first sector. Nice and light. Look at that touch, soft in the ankles. This isn't going to be the most iciest or roughest and toughest piste conditions due to the warm weather, but this is a lovely rhythm and tempo, making it look oh so easy. Hallberg from Finland surely has got this and takes the clock the right side by 0.16 seconds. Good skiing from the Finn. And that is a great start to this 2-run competition. Into number 3, Jakob Griebe. Now, Griebe from Melau already picked up a bronze medal in the team competition. I'd say numbers 1 to 15 have the optimum piste conditions here, but we're told that the race jury have used a lot of salt in the snow to try and firm up the piste underfoot. But those skiers in the back are going to have to learn to use the ruts and bumps. Oh, and there's the first DNF of the day. Did not finish. Griebe searching for a little too much speed, caught on the tails of the skis. And sadly for the Austrian challenger, his day is over. Here's the replay. He's just a little compressed, a little too much on the tails. There you see, and then fails to make the flush ahead. The Austrian goes out. First of the Americans, Camden Palmquist from Team Summit, Colorado, USA. Third in the team parallel. Now, Palmquist, another athlete in his last year as a junior. What a tall, long-levered skier. Ben Ritchie, last American World Junior Slalom champion, taking gold in Bansko, Bulgaria in 2021. That's where the Men's World Cup Tour will be heading, not this, but next weekend. Struggled a little with the snow on the opening turns, but now starts to find the dance and the pace. It's a lovely set and tempo in this mid to lower section here. Little nervous maybe on the opening turns, but now he goes for the line. 0.73 off the pace for Palmquist into third position. First of the Norwegians, first of the young Vikings. This is Theodor Braken. Well, we've got our first chance to see Theodor on the Senior World Cup Tour in Schladming last week. Sadly, a DNF, but a real talent looking to follow in the footsteps of Alexander Steen-Olsen, who won the slalom and the giant slalom at the World Juniors in Panorama, Canada, back in 2022. I can go on listing the big names. Benny Wright, Yuri Kogier, Kjetil Andreomot, Alexis Pantereau. This is, for many, the building block to international World Cup success. A couple of Europa Cup podiums under his belt. That's the B Tour, where many are prepared for the World Cup competition. And 1 point, oh, that is a surprise, I have to say. Fabian AX Schwarz, another youngster that we've seen on the World Cup Tour this season, 20th position in Kitzbühel. The Kitzbühel Slalom on the Ganzlern racetrack was an amazing performance, and if this young Swede can bring that kind of form and performance to the race piste here in Morzine, surely Schwarz will be a force to be reckoned with. Just a quarter of a second off the pace, 0.26. The red light, remember, tells us the skier is off the pace. The green light tells us that he's the quickest on the mountain. One of the big favourites here today with all of that World Cup experience, just 19 years of age. Good balance. Schwarz now has that finish line within his sight, straightens it out nicely. Third position, 0.54 off the pace of the Finnish leader. Just a little stumble on one or two of the gates. Not quite got the balance where he wanted it. From Tignes in France, this is Flavio Vitale. First of the host nation athletes. We've already told the story of Clément Noël, who won the World Junior Slalom Championship in 2018 on to 2022, and he was the Olympic champion. The year that he actually won the World Juniors, he was fourth in the slalom in Pyeongchang. That's an indication on how high the quality the field is in this World Junior Slalom today. Vitali finds a good rhythm and tempo. Nice wide base. Look how wide the feet are. Full hip width wide to make sure that he gets that clean pressure edge and turn. He's got fast feet to go with that solid base as well. But what will happen to the snow condition is that it's soft, it's warm. The winter feels like it's yet to arrive. 2.10, that's difficult for Vitali. What he's got caught into there is he's skiing with the rut that is starting to develop already after just 7 skiers. But that rut can force you to make a slightly rounder turn. Therefore, you're going the long way around the mountain. And the clock will make you pay painfully. Albin Larsson for the Swedish team. Carrying bib number 8. Fastest of the Swedes so far is AX Schwarz, lying in third position. Risking here, I like it, 0.67 off the pace. You can see how he's fighting to try and get that ski high and early with the loading so that he can stay ahead of the rut, try and straighten the line. Now you come to the all-important transition from the steepest pitch, slowly but surely. The piste here in Morzine flattens out towards the finish line. For those of you that ski here regularly, it's the Plein race piste. But Albin Larsson, frustrating, one of the slowest so far, drops down into 6th position. Gral Madsen of Norway carries bib number 9. The Norwegians first in the team parallel, already with a gold. With World Cup races being cancelled this weekend in Chamonix, the team here in the Porte du Soleil and in Morzine have done a brilliant job to keep this race piste alive and hosting these final races of the Alpine Junior World Ski Championship. You can see how the Norwegian's been pushed onto those tails of the skis. A little straight in the ankles for my liking, but he's generating some good speed in the closeout here. There you see another little error. Need to be a little softer against that turning ski. Gral Madsen, 1.65 off the pace of the Finnish leader into 6th position. Moritz Zudrell. So this young lad make his World Cup debut in Wengen. Now, didn't qualify. I think he took a DNF in the second leg, if I remember rightly. But again, look at this light touch that he's got. This connection from feet through the boots onto the ski. A very short, sharp edge, minimalizing the deflection in the turn. Lovely technique. Ooh. It reminds me a little of the Olympic Alpine combined champion, Johannes Strolz. Similar style, similar technique. But remember, we'll reverse the top 30 in the second leg, so they need to get used to these rutted and bumpy conditions. 48.24 is the target time. Zudrell of Austria into 5th position. Ready to strike on the second leg. 0.93 off the pace of the leading Finnish skier, Edward Hallberg. Gustav Wisting of Sweden next on course. 18 years of age, one of the younger skiers in the top seed. Just watching and looking at that piece development very carefully. What can often be the case is that they'll take off a small top layer, and it can be a little icy underneath once the sugar snow, and so there could be a little window for some of the later start numbers to try and break through here. Good clean skiing again from Wisting. 2.36. He'll be a little frustrated to be so far off the pace of the leader. Into 10th position. Here's the replay again. The name of the game here is to work with the piste and rut conditions. Mathias Højby, Norwegian, next on course. 20 years of age. Last year as a junior. He's out of the famous Bærums Ski Club, where so many of the top Norwegian racers have come from. Svindal, Buras, to name but one of many here. Lucas Broughton, another. Now, lovely calm, isn't he, for quite a tall, long-levered lad, but I love how calm and quiet that upper body is, just trying to keep it pointing down the foreline, letting the feet weave his way through the gate. Skillful skiing from Højby. 10th position, 2.3 off the pace. 13, Adam Palmer for Sweden. Trying his best to generate as much speed as possible in the turn, but this soft snow underfoot, it's looking very tricky indeed. We always knew the tech races were going to be tough with these warm weather conditions that we've been experiencing across the Alps. There's still some skiing to be had here in Morzine. Just not quite as clean as he was hoping for, the Swede. I'm so impressed with the technique of these juniors. 2.37 for Palmer into 12th position. I think those early start numbers are starting to show that that was definitely the break that they were looking for. Let's stay with Sweden. Philip Johnson. Another youngster with another year or so as a junior, just 18 years of age, carrying bib 14.
Finland still out in front at the moment, but Edward Hallberg, and all eyes now on Philip Johnson from Sweden.
Good balance, nice technique, just getting pitched a little into the air out of that rut. And as you can see already, the young Swede being forced to take that slightly rounder line that we were discussing before. But there's no question, This lad has the moves. And working the small rut, which is developing through each and every racer following the same racing line, working through them nicely. You've got to work with the rut, not fight against it, otherwise it really will spit you out. Trying to straighten it out to the line. 2.19 off the pace of the Finnish leader, 10th position. And the last of the top 15 racers, a name that many of you may remember. This is Cooper Puckett from Steamboat Springs in Colorado. Younger brother Cole also, and his dad, a famous racer back in the day, Chris Puckett. Also his uncle Casey, 5 times an Olympian. And the 1991, I think I'm right in saying, World Junior Slalom gold medalist. And keeping the Puckett legacy rolling on. The 2 famous brothers. Good recovery skills, struggling a little bit with the soft ruts and the holes that are developing. As we said earlier, Ben Ritchie, last American to win this slalom title in 2021 in Bansko, Bulgaria. Settles it nicely. Now, this is lovely technique and form in the closeout here. Cooper Puckett from Colorado, USA, with a very fast closeout, 1.67 into the top 10. And that was a lovely rhythm and tempo in the closeout there from young Puckett. I remember both of his father and his uncle well from the racing days. Oh, and there's a DNF already early in the top turns from the first of the Spanish racers. It's a team that's finding form on the World Cup as well as here in the World Juniors. Obert Sarakanta is a DNF. Kempianen of Finland is next to go. Finland lead, remember, with Edward Hallberg setting the target time at 48.24 seconds. Now, Kempianen. Still 18 years of age, a youngster by standards to a couple of them. Oh, he's just getting pitched a little too forwards onto the front of the skis. Hasn't quite got the balance or the position on the ski right to work with this rut. And you can see that the Finn's just struggling a little. He's getting very low and late. And this is the example that we were trying to describe earlier. The rut can force you low and round in the turn. And the clock will go right against you if you fall into that little trap. 48.24 has gone by. This will be 2-3 seconds off the pace. And it is 3.08, 15th position for Kempianen of Finland. You need to watch that time very carefully. May not be good enough to make the top 30. Kongsholm, Lucas Kongsholm for Sweden. The 20-year-old in his last year as a junior. Oh, nice pace here. Really battling. Lovely flexion and extension in the legs. The ankles are nice and soft, dealing with the ruts and bumps. This is the way to ski the softer snow condition. Lovely early release from the turn to start the next arc. Oh, he's right on the edge in the closeout, but lovely, skillful skiing. I like it. Kongsholm goes into 15th position, 2.68. He'll start at the halfway point on the second leg if he holds that placing. Bertoldini for Italy is next on course. Now Bertoldini looking to emulate Italy's last gold medalist, Alex Finazza in Val di Fassa 2019. And Alex Finazza is now a real star of the Men's World Cup Slalom and Giant Slalom Tour. And that's who he'll be looking to emulate. So many hours on the training hill are spent with the ice, with this very hard, solid snow condition. They mustn't forget that they need to learn to work the rut in this race today. Very accurate with the feet. Just slightly over skis it. 3.86 off the pace. 17th position. This is Stefano Pizzato. Another 20-year-old. 0.84 off the pace. Need to keep it under a second. Still at the top of the table, Edward Hallberg. Remember, Hallberg, silver medalist from St. Anton. The last World Juniors in 2023. Just got beaten by Canafarina in the giant slalom there. 2.82 off the pace for Pizzato, 16th position. And here is that gentleman who won the gold, Alisi Canafarina. Remember that the winners of the gold-only top spot for each of the races in the World Juniors get an automatic qualification to the World Cup finals on the 16th and 17th in Saalbach for the tech races, 22nd and 23rd for the speed race. And that really is a major part of the prize for taking gold at these World Juniors, an opportunity to go and race on the tour, rub shoulders with the top 25 from the season rankings on the World Cup. This guy's already done it once, and Canafarina, who'll be the favourite for the giant slalom tomorrow, I'm sure you'll all agree. Canafarina, I should say, my apologies, out of Chamrus. Let's move on to the Austrian, carrying bib 22, Fabio Valk. Tall, long-levered athlete. Reminds me a little of Thomas Sikora, another successful Austrian junior athlete. Benny Reich, perhaps the most famous slalom racer to have won this competition, double gold medalist, Olympic gold medalist. Just a little cautious with the style and technique. 3.67 is the end result off the pace of Hallberg, the Finnish leader. Got to get out after it a little more. I want to see a little more aggression on the lower section. Let's move to the German team, Nico Palmares. This is a good aggressive opening section, 0.69. Love the way he's working with the terrain. Nice timing in the turn. Just gets bucked a little. Got a little bit of Lina Strasser in his style and technique. The informed German World Cup slalom racer who's won the last two on the men's tour. Very accurate with the feet. A nice technique and balance about his work. Now he powers for the line, and that is good work. 2.4 off the pace, 15th position. Looking forward to seeing Nico in the second leg when we reverse the top 30 in the shootout for the medals. Thomas Barata. Spanish skiers starting to find top gear on the World Cup Tour, and it wouldn't surprise me that they've got a few stars in the making on this at this World Junior Championship in the Porte du Soleil. Such a spectacular part of the French Alps, the Haute-Savoie region. So, bib 24, Barata. Scottish coach for the Spanish team, Noel Baxter, 3.58, 20th position. I think it's fair to say you're going to need to be under 3 seconds to guarantee that top 30 start on the second leg. Eduardo Zarocco. Part of the race, the piste is holding well. There's a good solid base now. Wouldn't be a surprise to see a couple of talented juniors break into the top 15. Let's It's got to be under 3 seconds to make that top 30. It's not a cutoff in the World Juniors. We'll allow the rest of the world to complete their second run after we've reversed the top 30. That's a little more like it from Saracco. 2.83 off the pace. Eduardo skiing into 18th position here. He'll definitely be back for the second leg. Antoine Azulin. Oh, he's in a little bit of trouble here. Good recovery skills. Now, Azulin, another racer that's had some success at FIS and Europa Cup level. Looking very strong. Well, after a few errors at the top, he finishes this with real speed and skill. Yes, it's there. Antoine Azulin into 9th position. 1.87 off the pace of the French leader. But that sends a message back to the top of the mountain, the Plein piste here of Morzine, that the piste is holding beautifully and there's still a chance for the later numbers to break into the top flight. Florian Vogt, Swiss racer, wearing 27, next on course. 1.07 at Sector 1 is respectable. Again, lovely, accurate footwork here from the young Swiss racer. Tight on that line. Oh, there's a little error. Caught on the inside ski. Lightning recovery skills. And he's still chasing. 2.19, 12th position. Jakob Eisner. Eisner now needs to be a little careful here in his attempt to try and straighten out that racing line. Just losing a little bit of the efficiency in the turn. The double rut almost forming in the undergate there to make life tricky. 3.11, 22nd position. Jakob will need to watch that time carefully to see if it is good enough to guarantee a second leg. Alessina, next on course. Fabio Alessina. 19 years of age. Now Fabio. Oh, down he goes, caught on the inside ski. Not quite got that outside edge and ski into the rut early enough. Another DNF. This is the Albanian, Dani Jepa. Congratulations to Albania with Lara Kulturi taking a bronze medal in the women's giant slalom in Saint-Jean-d'Ulpe with Britt Richardson, the Canadian, easily winning the race in style. Great gold medal for the Canadian team. Back to the men's slalom here in Morzine. Already through 30, no change at the top of the table. Edward Hallberg of Finland leading. Heikler for Switzerland second. AX Schwarz for Sweden. Then Camden Palmquist and Zudrell making up the top 5. Jeper of Albania with some nice footwork in the closeout. But 3.43 off the pace. I'm not sure whether that will take the Albanian skier into the top 30 for the second leg. Let's move to 31 now. Jay Poulter. Pitched onto the tails of the skis, coming out of the flush. Those gates that are set down the foreline to tempt you to straighten up and search for speed. This is better work in the ruts, but he was struggling a little. You can see how he's getting just pitched slightly into the air. And when the skis are not in contact with the snow, you're losing control, but most importantly, speed. Jay Poulter, 5.46 off the pace. That will not be a second run qualification. Eric Saravuo. Now Saravuo, I should say. Hopefully he's had some information on the team radio from our current leader, Hallberg, to pace pace and tempo that's required to absolutely get after it and nail this track. Yeah, just struggling a little, over-skiing the rut. .59 seconds off the pace. Rasmus Bekvig, Norwegian. 18 years of age now. The target for those skiers outside of the top 30, based on current world rank and FIS points, is to make the top flight. Oh, good recovery skills in the Royal Flush. 3.76, 28th position. Oscar Hine. 0.87 is good work on the upper section. 20-year-old Austrian racer keeping the officials on their toes. Again, Heine here really pushing. Good accurate footwork. He's got a good pace and tempo. It can keep it under 3 seconds. I think he may well be into the top 30. Yes, he has. Good skiing, Oscar. 21st position, 2.95. Here comes racer Aurelio Viersch. Swiss racer. Now Viersch, 1.26 off the pace at the first split. Just struggling with the skills and technique required for this rut that continues to deepen. Holding on to that outside ski and turning edge. A split second too longer, but a split second over 60 gates starts to seriously add to the time. Again, pitched a little off balance over the front. Good skills, good recovery skills, but he's off the pace by 4.06. Aurelio, he knows that wasn't the best way to tackle that performance. Joris Braten Heerland of Norway. Now, Joris Braten Heerland, showing the strength and depth of Norwegians. National squads these days at junior level, they have so many youngsters that are ready to break through. Heerland, 3.51. Well, we all hope that's good enough, but I'm not quite sure he'll be back for that second leg. Jesse Curtis Knight. Good skiing from the Canadian lad here. Tall, long-levered racer, battling with these rutted conditions. Strong lad, look at this. Now, straighten it out, keep it under 3 seconds, and you make the top 30. That's the first pass of the chase up. 4 seconds off the pace for Jesse. Not easy at all today. Stanley Buzik of the USA. Now Buzik, or Buzek, I think it's pronounced correctly. Chasing Camden Palmquist, fastest of the Americans, currently lying in 4th position. He too slightly over skiing this lower section. Nice and powerful in the closeout. 3.13, not bad at all. 24th position. Patrick Charest of Canada. Oh, he's really risking here. Brave, courageous skiing from the Canadian. I'm not so sure how long he's going to hold on. Trying to straighten out that line, risking everything. Oh, this is lovely. And that risque style and technique could reward him with the top 20 here. The risk-reward pays dividends as Pierrick Charest into the top 20. 18th position, 2.61 off the pace. A scary but skillful ski. Abouka Molez for the French team next. Now, Abouka Molez. Again, a very nice, light, quick, dynamic style about his work. Just 0.8 off the pace. Oh, and this lad is using the local piece knowledge here. 2.7, 20th position. Wonderfully powerful out of the start. We're on course with the first of the British races. This is Freddie Carrick-Smith, his twin Zach, coming away with 2 golds and a silver from the recent Youth Olympic Games. One of the youngest in the race, 16 years of age, 17 next week. Coached by his mum and dad, Emma and Phil. His mum, Emma Carrick-Anderson, was 5th in this race back in 1992. 3.68, just missing the cut for Freddie Carrick-Smith. Bigatel for the USA is next on course. Well, what a shame for the young British racer. Coming so close to a break into the top 30 there. His mum was 5th in 1992, beaten by Urska Horvat. If I remember rightly, I think she was 2nd after the first run. The only other British skier to take a medal at these World Juniors was Graham Bell, a downhill racer in 1984, 2nd in Sugarloaf, USA, to Denny Ray. But there is no question all 3 of the Carrick-Smith brothers are a force to be reckoned with. Freddie and Zach, and of course their older brother Luca. The Hungarian, 33rd position. Balint Urai. Spanish racer, Sanchez Cabanas. Top 30 for these guys is well within their reach. The piste is a little bumpy and rutted, but I have to say it's in better condition than many of us first thought. Once again, it's congratulations to the local organizing committee here. And the chief of race, Ludwig Naxi. Tamas Trunk of Hungary is out on course. Nice, skillful skiing, I have to say, from this lad. 1.57 off the pace at Sector 1. Just getting a little caught now. It'll be a bumpy ride for the remaining 100 skiers from a record-breaking 49 national ski associations. Oh, and it's a DNF for the Spanish racer, Mintigui. '47 is the Slovenian, Miha Osaban. .44 coming into the halfway split here. Again, a very another tall, long-levered athlete, but getting a good early purchase against that outside turning ski, getting a good, nice, direct racing line. Oh, but there's the first little mistake, almost pitched over the front of the slalom skis. Skillful recovery from the youngster. 17-year-old, 3.81, excuse me, off the pace.
From Slovenia with a time of 52.05 there, just 3.81 behind the leader.
Petanchko for Croatia. Ishtok Rodes was their last champion. 43rd position, 4.84 off the pace.
53.08. It is William
Benno Brandis of Germany. Benno Brandis wearing bib number 49. Now it becomes
2.47 behind at the intermediate.
something quite serious if anybody can break into the top 30 from outside around the top 50. Nice direct closeout in those final turns, but too much work from the errors above. 5.49 off the pace. Ryder Sarchet of the USA. Now, America poised to strike for a medal in this World Junior Championship Alpine Slalom. With no change, early numbers definitely had the advantage today. Camden Palmquist at lying fourth. 42nd position, 4.11 off the pace.
Croatia. On a un petit stop course. On va souffler un peu. On vous laisse en musique. À tout de suite.
So after the top 50 ranked racers in this FIS Alpine Junior World Ski Championship Slalom, Hallberg leads for Finland. Heikler and A.K. Schwarz making up the top three. Palmquist and Zudrell of the USA and Austria making up the top five. Interesting stats to look at and ponder on here, I would say. Hallberg has 0.93 of a second ahead of Moritz Zudrell. Palmquist 0.73 and 3.5 seconds from first to 30th position. Freddie Carrick-Smith of Great Britain in 35th position. 3.68 off the pace, but it's Finland that lead here in Morzine, the Porte du Soleil, in the Haute-Savoie region of France. Edouard Hallberg sets the target time at 48.24 seconds.
Apprendre à vivre avec les autres.
On se marre, on s'amuse.
Et de bouger en pleine nature, et ça, c'est juste magique. Faut y aller, faut foncer.
Bienvenue au club.
Bienvenue au club.
Bienvenue au club.
Bienvenue au club.
Well, you're with FIS TV live at the 43rd Alpine Junior World Ski Championships. It's run one of two in the men's slalom competition. For the men, this is their penultimate race in what has been a challenging but highly successful